So I'm back again after my fantasy battle report with this time a Hordes battle report. It's going to be Archdomina Makeda versus Baldur the Stonecleaver, both prime versions of their warlocks. The lists will be in the description because I was advised not to talk much about lists, since everyone's going to forget about it anyway. At any rate, here's some quick video and pictures of both armies. This is Martin's Circle Orboros army. It's to a very good quality, as you can see. One of the better painters at this game store I go to on Wednesdays. And here's my Skorne army, which if you're on the Privateer Press forums you might be familiar with because I regularly post my new additions to the army. I enjoy painting quite a bit, so you might see some painting videos on here too eventually, though I have to work out how that would work. So there is the army. I'd have played first. My goal was to get to the objective as soon as possible and start scoring control points before my opponent. Unfortunately, going first, that means the opponent's going to have the opportunity to score first, so we'll see how that pans out. P. Baldur's army deployed as follows. The prey target for the Bloodtrackers was Molik Karn, and the stones looked set up to do some first turn shifting. On my turn 1, everything ran up, which is normally the case for War Machine and Hordes. My thinking was I wanted to harass the Bloodtrackers with Molik Karn, since they prayed him, and I want to negate the damage that they could do against him, because they could probably kill him in one round. The Archidon ran up front just to draw some fire from the Bloodtrackers, in case they feel like throwing spears his way instead. Turns out none of the Bloodtrackers could actually fire at Molik Karn this turn, because of the forest, so 2 of them fired at the Archidon instead. One of them hit and did 10 damage to him. That's almost 50% of an Archidon's hit points. Looks like the Woldwatcher also took a shot at the Archidon, doing 1 damage, and Baldur put a rapid growth forest over the Woldwatcher to also block Baldur off. Baldur feeded this turn, so his control area is all difficult ground for me, and I can never gain Pathfinder. That sucks. Turn 2 for Skorne. Molik Karn ended up walking around the forest with Rush and Savagery on him, and killing 2 Bloodtrackers all at the same time, avoiding Baldur's feet, so he wouldn't have to sacrifice any of his movement to difficult ground. Even though he had Rush and Pathfinder, it wouldn't have done anything. Other than that, I generally stay out of his feet area because I don't want to getting a huge alpha strike on me. We'll see how well that pans out. Circle Orboros turn 2. The Skinwalkers on the left end up killing 1 Nihilator, who doesn't make his tough roll. The Bloodtrackers take off 8 damage from Molik Karn because I craftily put him behind the Archidon so not many of them could see, and the ones that advanced into the forest didn't have 3 inches out of the forest to shoot at him. So they shot at the Gladiator instead and did 18 damage. This guy's dice are on fire this game. I couldn't believe it. Other than that, it looks like I'm going to have a bunch of infantry to clear, and he scores a point, which is another important note to make. Turn 3 for Skorne sees Molik Karn walking over to the shifting stones to the right that were near Ghetorix, killing 1, so Ghetorix now can't be ported anywhere in my face. Molik Karn then kills a Bloodtracker and does about 7 damage to Ghetorix himself. I moved the Archidon where he is because I wanted to just hold up Ghetorix and make sure that he couldn't charge into the Gladiator and take a couple heavies out a turn, because the Gladiator was also damaged already, and the Bronzeback, I've seen it go down to Ghetorix before. POW 21 is nothing to sneeze at. The Nihilators kind of failed to kill many of the Warpborn Skinwalkers, though they did kill 1. They damaged a bunch, but pretty much failed for the rest of it. Now I'm going to get eaten alive by Skinwalkers. Thanks, guys. So in his turn, he did nothing but beat up some Nihilators and kill the Archidon. The Skinwalkers absolutely murdered the Nihilators, killing 7 of them. The 3 that survived were the 3 that were in Makeda's feat range, so I'm not going to get a feat at all, which is normally the case. I use her for her beast potential with Molik Karn and Savagery in the first place, so it doesn't matter. And Ghetorix and the Woldwarden destroy the Archidon, which was no surprise. It was kind of me throwing it out there to begin the peace trade. My turn 4, and I didn't write any notes apparently. I was too excited. Molik Karn killed Ghetorix. The Gladiator trampled over some stones and Bloodtrackers to beat up on the Woldwarden a bit. I think he only managed to hit one of the Bloodtrackers. Oh well, that's Mat 6 for you. The Bronzeback went through about 3 Warpborn Skinwalkers, it looks like, and also killed the tree. Interesting thing to note, beatback cannot work when you attack the tree because the tree is immobile. I'm assuming it would be the same for a shifting stone, so you wouldn't actually move the inch after hitting the tree. Good thing to know, and good thing this wasn't a tournament, otherwise I did it in the wrong order. Luckily Martin was a sport and let me take that back, and instead I attacked Skinwalker, allowing me to move an inch further to attack more stuff. Thanks, Martin. So in the previous turn, I moved the Bronzeback into the Warpborn Skinwalkers and also contested the flag, so Baldur couldn't keep dominating it. I think Baldur was at about 3 control points in my previous turn, and at the end of this turn he's got 4, so it's really putting pressure on me. The Woldwarden actually got a combo smite off on the Gladiator, needed to roll a 4 on 2d6 for damage to kill him, because my Gladiator had 2 boxes left and the damage roll was -2. And he rolls a Snake Eyes. So he slams the Gladiator into the Bronzeback. Bronzeback's knocked down. Gladiator's knocked down. And unfortunately, the stupid, pesky Stonekeeper finishes off the Gladiator and does the damage. Baldur himself comes over and whacks the Bronzeback to kill him, with a little bit of help from the Woldwatcher as well. The Skinwalkers take out a couple Nihilators, but it's now or never for me. I will not win on control points, because I believe I only have 2 at this point. So, it's assassination time. Let's see how that turns out. Skorne Turn 5. That's what the screen says. Marketh activates. Using 2 soul tokens he got from destroyed Nihilators, he boosts to hit and boost damage a muzzle into Baldur's face, doing 9 damage, taking about 50% of Baldur's life right off the get-go. So already looking pretty good for my assassination attempt. Makeda walks over around her flag, draws a bead to Baldur, doesn't boost to hit on the muzzle, but ends up missing. Fortunately, the Mortitheurge Willbreaker put Puppet Master on her first, so she ended up re-rolling the dice, and she actually got a hit, which is kind of cool. So she boosted damage and took another 7 off of Baldur. And now Baldur's sitting at about 2 damage, I think. So 1 more muzzle would do it. I bought a muzzle without boosting, and I actually hit, which is cool. And then I boosted the damage and rolled a 2, a 2, and a 1. I needed to roll a 10 on 3d6, which I believe is average. So that didn't happen, but hey, sometimes 5s happen. So Molik Karn had to finish it off, and had to take a free strike from the Gatorman Witch Doctor, which I wasn't too worried about. Molik Karn was already missing his body from getting beat up by various things throughout the game, so he was only rolling 2d6 for damage, which is not too bad because he's a weapon master, right? So I ended up finishing the job with Molik Karn. The Gatorman Witch Doctor actually missed his free strike, which is always lame when that happens. But yeah, Baldur goes down to Molik Karn. Who'd thunk it? So final thoughts on the game. It was well fought by my opponent. It was fun. He's a very good player, and he's been practicing a lot. So, and I can tell from when I first played him. So, me on the other hand, I have not been practicing. I've been playing a lot of Warhammer Fantasy, getting better at that, and I've been enjoying it a lot. I've been enjoying painting fantasy stuff. But the next battle report I do will be another War Machine Hordes battle report, because I'm teaching a friend how to make videos of what I've learned so far. Not that I'm an expert by any means, which I'm not, but here's some photos of some of my Circle Orboros stuff that I've been working on. Some of you may have seen it from the forums as well, or my blog. But yeah, one thing I have to mention about the game is I forgot to tell Martin to -2 to his damage rolls with the Woldwarden when he was attacking the Gladiator, because he was in range of my Agonizer, who was screaming the cry of -2 damage rolls to war beasts. So potentially the Gladiator could have survived that hit from the Stonekeeper. You know, you can't go back on things like that in these games. It's so precise and so dependent on the player's utter knowledge, 100% knowledge of the models and what they're capable of. So I think it's just testament to my lack of games lately. I'm a little rusty. So anyways, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I think I'm getting a little bit better at doing the battle reports. Obviously, there's a lot of improvement still. I think more pictures instead of just one general picture of each turn. I think, stage by stage in each turn would probably suffice. We'll see. I have another game lined up for Friday, so I'll probably take about twice or three times as many pictures, and we'll see how that works. Thanks for watching. Bye.